Welcome everyone to the battle between two American geniuses. We have Hikaru Nakamura on the left of our screen and Wesley So on the right. They're going to fight against each other in this amazing encounter in round 6 of the super finals of the Naroditsky Memorial. Now Hikaru has come to play just the blitz section. Wesley played both the rapid and blitz, and all the players are there to honor the memory of the great Daniel Naroditsky. This is going to be an amazing game. 3 minutes plus 2 seconds increment. Off we go. C4 E6 by Wesley, D4 played by Hikaru, and we have the Queen's Gambit declined. Knight comes out to F3, Knight F6, Knight to C3, the main line, and Wesley plays the line that he's famed for, which is CD, CD, and it's very kind of even and it's difficult to break through. So Hikaru is thinking whether he should go into the main line territory of taking the pawn on D5 or not. You could see his expression there. He was like, once again, how to face this opening from Wesley. E3 played by Hikaru. This is the symmetrical system. Wesley takes and converts the game into Queen's Gambit accepted territory. Plays A6, angling for an eventual B5. You have castles. B5 bishop goes back to B3, and now bishop to B7. So Hikaru now looking upwards, he's thinking what should be the move that I should play. Queen E2, and the idea is to play E4 E5 for white, because black has got everything that he would have wanted for on the queen side. And white, I think Hikaru didn't know really his theory, so he thought a bit. Wesley goes knight to C6. In a way, he is somewhat threatening to pick up a pawn on D4. Rook D1 played. He defends the pawn on D4. And one of the ideas in this position is to take, now pawn to C4 played. He pushes the pawn forward, blocks the bishop here on B3, and bishop C2. Bishop goes to E7, E4 played, and this is already a great position for white with central pawns. And look at Wesley there. He's giving up a pawn here. Very interesting. And Hikaru doesn't take it. He could have taken it. Takes, rook takes B4, and now E5. And that gives him a small edge. Although Hikaru plays A3 and now knight takes C1, rook takes C1. All of a sudden, Wesley So is in a nice position here. Black castles. Hikaru brings his rook to D1. The thing is, these positions are just so subtle that the fact that Hikaru did not take on D3 has landed him in a difficult position. Wesley goes rook E8. Somewhere he's playing against this pawn to D5 break. He lines up the rook against the queen. H3 played. Now Wesley So's plan could be queen B6. The queen actually belongs nicely on the B6 square. He can drop his bishop back to F8 if needed. Rook could come to D8 or C8. He plays queen B6, eyeing the D4 pawn. And bishop goes to C2. And now somewhere you want to try A5 B4 as a plan. But first Wesley brings his rook into the center of the board. Queen E3. Hikaru moving quickly, has 1 minute 54 seconds. Wesley also has 1 minute 54 seconds. Very even on the clock. And bishop to F8. Okay, maybe it's time to move the queen away. Queen F4 makes sense. And now D5 is on the cards. E5 maybe somewhere. H6. Just a calm little move played on the king side. Hikaru Nakamura now looking at the position carefully. Is there a D5 move somewhere? Is there E5 which can be played here? He goes pawn to g4. He pushes the pawn forward, and this is quite risky what Hikaru is doing. Bishop d6, attacking the queen. Okay, if you play e5, then I simply drop the bishop back and you can't take the knight as there's a pin. But Hikaru plays bishop b8 and g5. Whoa, this is very dangerous play. But what Hikaru has missed here is a very nice move. Queen c6 and plays it. And look at Hikaru there. He's surprised because he thought Wesley will take here knight g5 and white is winning with queen h4, bishop here. But the move queen c6 comes as a bolt from the blue. And now the thing is, it's just completely busted the position. f3 is hanging. If you take the knight here, I simply play queen takes f3. Queen takes, bishop takes, attacking the rook. Imagine you save the rook here, bishop e5 because of the pin. If you move the rook here, you lose the d4 pawn. And so Hikaru has been stunned after queen c6. He literally has no choice. d5, boom, takes, knight takes, rook e1 played. But guys, this is over. Now rook takes e5. What a move that would be if Wesley finds it. Knight e5, impossible because of the mate. If rook takes e5, bishop e5, and he finds that as well. Insane. Rook takes e5, and now bishop takes e5, queen takes f7. Whoa, tactics there by Hikaru, finding some of the tactics. King takes, knight e5, going in for that piece, and we reach a position where Hikaru is a pawn down in the similar colored bishop position, which is not a happy feeling here. He's also low on the clock. I think for Wesley, this is going to be not so tough to win this. And look at the speed at which they are playing. Bishop d1 is perhaps a nice little move to trade the pieces. The rook endgame is utterly lost here. The bishop controlling here, and he finds bishop d1. Ooh, Hikaru almost there. He's thinking about what to play. King e1, there's rook c2. He takes, rook takes, king e2, rook b1, and now rook c2. Okay, just simply rook h1 is a nice little move. You just one pawn up, and one pawn up in rook endgame sometimes is drawish in nature, but not this. Look at these pawns. They are so good. Hikaru has 40 seconds. Wesley has 48. If Hikaru saves this, that would be incredible save. That would be huge. Okay, king d2. The king would love to come in. a5 played by Wesley. Now what about a4? Is it even possible to break the structure? Hikaru shaking his head there. He plays king e3. But now rook h1. Trying to win this pawn. Isn't that possible? Wesley goes check. King d4. Allowing Hikaru's king to move. Oh, he was going to play rook d1. Puts the rook back on e1. Wesley is kind of faltering in this endgame. King c5. And check. King b6. He could go in. He goes king c6. That's fine. That's fine. Wesley plays a4. And now rook to c3. He plays rook f5, attacking the f2 pawn. And white goes rook e3. Rook takes f2, possible, but plays h5. Wesley being slightly indecisive there, but now take this, because take king b5, rook b2, you take a pawn, that endgame is winning for you. Rook d5, he comes back, and this time Hikaru can play rook e2 and maintain, but he goes rook f3 check and goes active. King d4 played, and rook e1 attacking, rook e8 attacking this pawn, defends it, check, brings the king to e4, and now the rook can come back. Both players have 12 seconds. Rook g8 with just 5 seconds on the clock. But now king d3. Goes rook f5 first, attacking the f2 point. Rook g6. Never seen Hikaru this, anxious to press the clock. king c2, rook comes back, king b3. Now the material is even, but look at the black king. Has improved the position so much. f4, rook takes f4, king takes b5, rook takes h4. Black is still a pawn up. And he plays his rook to f2, and Wesley moving rapidly there. King d5, h3 played. If you take the pawn, I'll take on b2. So king c5, rook h4, c3 takes, king takes c3, and Hikaru resigns because now he's completely lost. The king will come and win the a3 pawn, and what a win this was for Wesley So.